Has your dog ever done something so crazy that you just stood there with your mouth open? Something that seemed impossible, almost like magic? If yes, you need to know this. It's not a coincidence. You're actually watching a prophecy come true. A prophecy made over 80 years ago by a man who could see the future in his sleep. Edgar Cayce was called the sleeping prophet because his most incredible visions came during deep trances from 1901 to 1944. He made over 14,000 documented predictions that came true with frightening accuracy. He predicted the Great Depression, both world wars, devastating earthquakes, and even the internet decades before it existed. But there's one Cayce prophecy that stayed almost forgotten for decades, until this moment. A prophecy about dogs that's unfolding right now, in your home, in your neighborhood, all over the world. During his trances, Cayce didn't just see historical events. He had crystal clear visions about how animals would spiritually evolve alongside humans. And among all the species that appeared in his psychic readings, dogs held an absolutely special place. The four-legged guardians will awaken when Earth enters its new vibration, Cayce said during a session in 1943. They'll become living bridges between the physical and spiritual worlds, hidden teachers sent to teach humanity unconditional love. Cayce described dogs as natural spiritual antennas, beings that can sense energies, predict events, and even heal just by their presence. He saw that these animals have abilities humans lost centuries ago, but that would reactivate at a specific moment in history. What really blows your mind is that Cayce was incredibly precise about when this dog transformation would begin. He predicted the first signs would become obvious when humanity faced major global challenges, pandemics, climate change, rapid technological upheavals, and mass spiritual awakening. During one of his most intense visions, Cayce revealed three distinct waves of dog evolution. The first, the ability to detect diseases and predict events before they happen. The second, direct telepathic connection with owners. The third and most powerful, turning dogs into true energetic cleansers, capable of neutralizing negative energies and helping with emotional healing. When the talking machines connect all people, Cayce said in 1944, clearly referring to the internet, dogs will awaken to their true spiritual purpose. They'll no longer be just pets. They'll become conscious partners in raising human consciousness. Here's what makes this prophecy even more insane. Cayce saw that many dogs coming into families during this awakening are actually advanced souls who chose to incarnate as animals to help humanity's transformation. Light beings disguised as household pets. But here's the key point. Cayce wasn't talking about some distant future. He was describing exactly what's happening now. At this very moment, the signs he predicted 8 decades ago are rapidly manifesting around us. Dogs detecting cancer before doctors. Pets comforting their owners exactly when they need it most, even from a distance. Animals seemingly cleansing spaces of heavy energies. Cases of almost telepathic connection between dogs and humans. None of this is coincidence. This is prophecy unfolding right before our eyes. The question remains, are you ready to acknowledge that your dog might be much more than you thought? Because after you learn what Cayce actually saw about the future of dogs, you'll never look at your four-legged friend the same way. The dog awakening has begun, and if you pay attention, it's probably already happening in your own home. In 1944, during one of his last and most powerful psychic sessions, Edgar Cayce received a vision that made everyone in the room go silent. His voice, already altered by deep trance, began describing a future where dogs would take on a completely new role in human society. "I see the awakening of the four-legged guardians," Cayce said with such intensity that everyone got goosebumps. "When Earth enters a new vibrational frequency, dogs will become living bridges between worlds. They won't just be household animals. They'll be hidden masters sent to teach people unconditional love and spiritual connection." The specific prophecy Cayce received that day revealed 3 distinct waves of dog awakening. The first wave will happen when humanity begins to mass spiritually awaken, which he placed at the end of the 20th and beginning of the 21st century. During this phase, dogs will develop energy healing abilities and will be able to detect diseases even before doctors. The second wave will be even more impressive. Cayce saw dogs establishing direct telepathic connection with owners, responding to thoughts before words are even spoken. They'll start appearing exactly when their humans need emotional support most, as if guided by a higher intelligence. The third and most powerful wave will show dogs acting as true energy cleansers. They'll be able to neutralize negative energies in homes, hospitals, and even in people going through deep trauma. Cayce called this ability emotional alchemy, the ability to turn pain into healing just by their presence. But what made this prophecy even more intriguing was the historical context. We're talking about 1944, the height of World War II, when dogs were mainly seen as working or guard animals. The idea that these animals could have spiritual or therapeutic roles seemed like complete absurdity to science at that time. The prophet was even more specific in describing the types of dogs that would be most affected by this transformation. He saw that both purebred and mixed-breed dogs would manifest these abilities, but rescued or adopted animals would have an even stronger connection to their spiritual purposes. As if the very act of being saved connects them to a higher mission. During that same session, Cayce made a revelation that shocked everyone. He said that many dogs coming into families during this awakening time are actually evolved souls who chose to incarnate as animals to help the transformation of human consciousness. Light beings disguised as household pets. The prophecy also included an important warning. Cayce saw that not all humans would be ready to acknowledge these changes in their dogs. Many would interpret special behavior as simple coincidences or animal instinct. But those who are spiritually awakened will be able to create incredible partnerships with their canine companions. The most impressive aspect of Cayce's prophecy is his accuracy about the exact moment when all this would start happening. He predicted the first signs would become obvious when humanity faced major global challenges, pandemics, climate change, and rapid technological transformations. Exactly what we're experiencing now. If you have a dog at home, you've probably already noticed subtle changes in their behavior over recent years. Maybe they started following you more, getting restless before you return from work, or showing heightened sensitivity to environments and people. This isn't scattered behavior. These are the first signs of Cayce's prophecy manifesting right before our eyes. Veterinarians around the world started reporting an intriguing phenomenon from the early 2000s. Dogs that had always been calm started showing levels of intuition that challenge any traditional scientific explanation. Dr. Marcus Rodriguez, a behavioral veterinarian, documented over 300 cases of dogs who developed what he calls emotional hypersensitivity, the ability to detect changes in their owner's mental state even before they physically manifest. One of the most impressive cases happened with Elizabeth Santos, 45, from New Jersey. Her dog Bobby, a 6-year-old golden retriever, started showing strange behavior every time she was getting ready to leave for work. He literally blocked the door, cried, and refused to move. Elizabeth thought it was just stubbornness until she realized Bobby only did this on days when she was maximally stressed or when problems were waiting for her at work. "It felt like he knew I needed to stay home and take care of myself," Elizabeth says. "On days when he insisted I not leave, something important always happened that made me rethink my priorities. That's when I understood. Bobby wasn't being stubborn. He was protecting me." But the signs go far beyond basic emotional sensitivity. Researchers at Duke University in the US started documenting cases of dogs developing the ability to detect diseases with stunning accuracy. We're not just talking about cancer, which was already known, but things like diabetes, epilepsy, and even severe depression. Luna's story, a 4-year-old Labrador, made international headlines when she started obsessively sniffing her owner Joao's left arm for 3 straight weeks. Joao ignored it until Luna started barking and scratching at the same spot. Worried, he went to a doctor and discovered a small tumor that hadn't been detected by routine exams yet. The tumor was exactly where Luna had been sniffing. Animal shelters also started noticing serious changes. Dogs, once considered hard to adopt, started showing instant connection with specific people visiting the shelters, as if they exactly knew which human needed their companionship at that moment. Ana Claudia Ferreira, a shelter coordinator, said, "We started noticing that dogs were choosing their owners, not the other way around. They approached people going through difficult times, divorces, loss of loved ones, illnesses, as if they had a radar for finding those who needed unconditional love most." Another striking sign was the exponential growth of certified therapy dogs around the world. Between 2010 and 2020, the number of dogs trained for emotional therapy grew by over 400% globally. But what caught specialists' attention was that many of these dogs started demonstrating therapeutic abilities naturally, even before any formal training. Hospitals reported cases where visiting dogs could identify patients needing companionship most. They ignored people who were doing fine and went straight to the beds of patients facing critical recovery moments. Nurses started using this canine intuition as an additional indicator to identify patients needing special attention. Animal behavior research centers documented that dogs started reacting to storms, earthquakes, and other natural events with increasing advance notice. Before, they showed restlessness hours before seismic events. Now some dogs warn owners 2 days ahead. The most intriguing aspect of these early signs is their universality. It doesn't matter the breed, age, or background of the dog. Special abilities are appearing in all types of animals. From poodles in apartments to mutts on farms, all seem to be awakening to abilities that were dormant. The most impressive part? This was just the beginning. The signs we started noticing in the 2000s were only the first wave of the prophecy. What comes next is even more incredible. Imagine this. You come home after a terrible day, and you feel all the heavy energy just disappear the moment your dog approaches you. This isn't coincidence or imagination. This is a manifestation of a skill dogs are rapidly developing, the ability to work as true energy cleansers. Dr. Rupert Sheldrake, a biologist and researcher of unexplained phenomena, spent over a decade documenting cases of dogs demonstrating abilities far beyond what traditional science can explain. His research showed that dogs around the world are developing incredible sensitivity to detecting and neutralizing negative energies in environments and people.
The most documented case happened with the Thompson family in England. After moving into an old house, All family members started experiencing nightmares, insomnia, and a constant feeling of anxiety. Max, their German shepherd, started showing strange behavior. He walked through the house every night, stopping at specific points where he'd stand motionless for long minutes, as if working on something invisible. Max did something like a ritual, says Sarah Thompson. He breathed deeply in specific corners of the house, sometimes whined softly, then shook his whole body as if shaking something off. After his rounds, we all slept better. The family decided to hire an energy specialist to evaluate the house. The professional confirmed that there were several residual energy charges in the house, exactly in the spots where Max made his nightly stops. After a few weeks of the canine ritual, both the specialist and the family confirmed that the energy in the house had completely transformed. Hospitals and clinics around the world also started noticing similar phenomena with therapy dogs. Nurses reported that certain dogs could identify rooms with heavy energy and refused to enter until the space was spiritually cleared. When they finally entered, patients in those rooms showed significant improvements in their emotional and even physical state. Holistic therapists started working in partnership with special dogs to enhance their treatments. During energy cleansing sessions, some dogs demonstrated the ability to absorb negative energies released by clients, then discharge those energies through yawning, trembling, or even running in circles. Esther, a Reiki therapist, worked for 3 years with her dog Isis during sessions. Isis always positions herself at the client's feet during treatment. When we reach deep traumas or emotional blockages, she literally trembles as if processing that negative energy. Then she leaves, shakes herself, drinks water,
and comes back completely renewed. Homes that experienced traumatic events, deaths, breakups, family conflicts, reported that their dogs started showing spontaneous energy cleansing behavior. They systematically walked through the house, stopped in specific places where arguments had occurred, then lay there for long periods, as if absorbing and transforming residual energies. Some dogs developed the ability to neutralize negative energy through touch. Reports of people feeling instant calm after being touched by certain dogs multiplied exponentially in recent years. This isn't a typical touch. It feels like a conscious energy transfer. The case of Armando, a mutt adopted by Ferdinand, perfectly illustrates this evolution. Every time someone came to his house feeling stress or sadness, Armando would approach and place his paw on the person for a few minutes. Everyone reported an immediate feeling of relief and calm. Armando seems to have an internal sensor for detecting those who need positive energy, says Ferdinand. He never makes a mistake. And what's most impressive, after his treatments, people leave noticeably lighter and renewed. The spiritual evolution of dogs isn't limited to energy cleansing. Many dogs are developing the ability to protect their homes and families from negative external influences. They can sense when people with bad intentions are approaching and create something like an energetic shield around the house. Social media daily explodes with videos of dogs doing things that seem impossible. Dogs appearing out of nowhere to save children from accidents. Pets waking entire families seconds before fires. Animals finding missing people in situations that defy logic. These aren't isolated cases. These are manifestations of the third wave of Cayce's prophecy intensifying around us. The case that attracted global attention happened in March 2023 in a small town in Minas Gerais. Baya, an 8-month-old mutt, started desperately barking in the middle of the night and scratching at her owner's bedroom door. The family woke up annoyed, thinking she needed to go outside, but Bella ran straight to the 6-month-old baby's room and kept barking. When the parents reached the crib, they found the baby in apnea, completely blue. Doctors confirmed that without Baya's intervention,
the baby wouldn't have survived. What's most impressive is that Baya had never shown any protective behavior before this episode, as if she awakened to her guardian mission at the exact moment she was needed. Tell me in the comments, has your dog ever done something that left you speechless? Some unexplainable rescue or protection? Dr. James Serpell, director of the Center for the Interaction of Animals and Society at the University of Pennsylvania, has been collecting similar stories for over 5 years. His research documents more than 1,200 cases of dogs saving human lives in ways science still can't fully explain. What we're observing goes far beyond traditional protective instinct, explains Dr. Serpell. These dogs show precognitive ability. They know something is going to happen before any physical signs appear, as if they have access to information they shouldn't have. The phenomenon intensifies even more when we look at dogs saving complete strangers. In October 2023, Thor, a German shepherd, escaped from home and ran 3 blocks to a construction site. There, he started barking non-stop at a group of workers, preventing them from entering a specific area. 20 minutes later, exactly where Thor didn't let them go, a concrete structure collapsed. Thor had never left home alone, his owner said, and there was no apparent reason for him to know about the danger at the site, as if he'd been given a specific mission at that moment. Before we continue, I want to invite you to the Quantum Thinking Challenge, a 21-day program where you'll reprogram your mind, raise your vibration,
And unlock your full energetic potential. 3 weeks of daily practices to transform your frequency and start attracting everything you want. Access in the first pinned comment. Now imagine this. You're thinking about going home, and your dog is already waiting at the door, even though you're miles away and without a set schedule. Or your pet appears next to you exactly when you're feeling sad, without any external signs. This isn't imagination. This is real telepathic connection happening between you and your dog. Dr. Rupert Sheldrake conducted the most comprehensive study on animal telepathy ever done. Over 10 years, he documented more than 4,000 cases of dogs demonstrating the ability to read their owner's thoughts and intentions from a distance. The results were so impressive, they completely challenged our understanding of animal communication. Sheldrake's most famous experiment involved JT, a fox terrier who always knew when his owner, Pam Smart, was coming home. What's remarkable is that Pam worked irregular hours and used different modes of transportation every day. Cameras in the house showed that JT started displaying restlessness and positioned himself at the window exactly when Pam decided to return home. Not when she left work, but when the thought of returning home formed in her mind. We tested JT for 2 consecutive years, Sheldrake explained. It didn't matter whether Pam returned by car, bus, train, or on foot. It didn't matter if she left earlier or later. JT always knew the exact moment she formed the intention to come home. Telepathic connection isn't limited to detecting emotional states. Dogs are demonstrating the ability to respond to specific mental commands. Sarah Johnson, a dog trainer in Los Angeles, developed an experimental protocol to test this ability. I started asking owners to only think about specific commands while looking at their dogs, says Sarah. The results were stunning. Dogs obeyed mental commands like sit, come here, and lie down with 78% success. The most fascinating aspect of canine telepathy is its ability to transcend physical distance. The American military documented cases of dogs reacting to dangers faced by their soldier owners in combat zones thousands of miles away. Corporal James Mitchell, an Iraq War veteran, reports that his dog Princess, who stayed in the U.S. during his deployment, always became agitated and cried on the same days he was involved in intense combat.
My wife started recording the days Princess was inconsolable. When I came back and compared it with my mission diary, the synchronization was perfect. Researchers at Duke University are studying the neurological mechanisms behind this telepathic connection. Through simultaneous MRI scans of dogs and humans, they discovered brain synchronization patterns suggesting a form of non-local communication between species. We observed brainwave synchronization between dogs and their owners even when they were in separate rooms, explains Dr. Michael Chen, the neuroscientist leading the study. As if there's a shared frequency allowing information exchange without any physical communication channel. Telepathic connection also manifests through shared dreams. Hundreds of people report dreams where their dogs appear with specific messages or warnings about real-life situations. Have you ever wondered why all these dog transformations are happening right now? Why dogs around the world are simultaneously awakening to abilities that seemed impossible just 2 decades ago? The answer is connected to something much bigger than we think. A planetary vibrational rise that Edgar Cayce predicted with eerie accuracy. According to Cayce's readings, Earth would enter a new evolutionary phase at the beginning of the 21st century, marked by an acceleration of collective human consciousness. He described this period as the time of the Great Awakening, when both humans and animals would develop dormant spiritual abilities to navigate the intense transformations of this planetary transition. When humanity faces its greatest challenges, Cayce said in 1943, the four-legged guardians will awaken to guide and protect during the transition to the new Earth. They'll serve as beacons of unconditional love in times of turbulence. Dr. David Hawkins, a psychiatrist and researcher of consciousness levels, developed a scale measuring the collective energetic vibration of humanity. His research shows that since 2000, human consciousness has been undergoing unprecedented acceleration, jumping from survival levels to spiritual awakening at a pace that would normally take centuries. We're witnessing consciousness evolution in real time, explains Dr. Hawkins. And animals, especially dogs, are responding to this vibrational rise by developing abilities that connect them more deeply with the human experience. The temporal synchronicity is impossible to ignore. The first intense manifestations of special canine abilities started being massively documented from 2001, exactly when humanity experienced one of the greatest collective shocks in modern history. As if dogs received a cosmic activator to begin their spiritual support mission. Researchers at the HeartMath Institute discovered that major traumatic global events generate measurable electromagnetic waves that affect the planet's energetic field. These waves not only influence human behavior, but also activate evolutionary responses in domestic animals, especially those with deep emotional bonds to humans. Dogs function as living antennas for these planetary energetic shifts, explains Dr. Roland McCraty, Director of Research at HeartMath.
They're responding to frequencies we humans are only beginning to understand scientifically. The 2020 pandemic marked another critical milestone in the canine awakening. Veterinary reports worldwide documented an explosion of anomalous behaviors in dogs during lockdowns. Animals that had never shown special sensitivity started demonstrating emotion detection abilities, energy healing, and even premonition. It was as if the collective emotional intensity of the pandemic activated something dormant in dogs, says Dr. Sandra Molina, a behavioral veterinarian from Madrid. In 2 years, I received more reports of psychic canine behaviors than in my entire previous career. The phenomenon isn't limited to traumatic events. Global celebrations, collective meditations, and mass spiritual movements also generate energy waves that amplify canine abilities. During solar eclipses, supermoons, and other significant astronomical events, Animal research centers document spikes in telepathic activity and healing behaviors in dogs worldwide. Quantum physicists have begun theorizing that dogs may be accessing what they call the collective morphogenetic field, a non-local information network connecting all living consciousness on the planet. As humanity raises its vibration through crises, growth, and spiritual awakening, dogs automatically tune into these higher frequencies. Dogs have always been sensitive to subtle energy fields, explains Dr. Amit Goswami, quantum physicist and author of The Self-Aware Universe. But now, as human consciousness expands, they're accessing levels of quantum information that allow them to function as bridges between dimensions of reality. The digital era also plays a key role in this awakening. The same technology that instantly connects billions of human minds is creating a planetary electromagnetic field that amplifies dogs' natural psychic sensitivity. They're literally picking up the waves of information circulating through global communication networks. Spiritual centers around the world report that their resident dogs have started showing special behaviors synchronized with global meditations and collective prayer movements. During events like Earth Day, solstice celebrations, and global peace campaigns, these animals spontaneously enter deep meditative states. Our dogs are becoming living barometers of rising planetary consciousness, shares Lama Tenzin from the Buddhist Center in Brasilia. When humanity unites in positive intention, our canine companions respond immediately, radiating peace that further amplifies the collective energy. Astrologers and scholars of cosmic cycles note that we're living in what many ancient traditions called the era of transition, a period when planetary consciousness undergoes fundamental transformation. Dogs, as beings naturally attuned to cosmic rhythms, serve as catalysts and facilitators of this transition. Dogs are the first to catch the new frequencies arriving on the planet, explains Maria Elena Ramallo, astrologer and researcher of cosmic cycles. They're showing us what the next phase of conscious evolution will look like: more telepathic, more empathetic, more energetically connected. The climate urgency and global environmental challenges have also activated something like a collective preservation instinct in dogs. They seem to understand at a deep level that their spiritual evolution is directly connected to the survival and evolution of human consciousness. Evolutionary biologists suggest we're witnessing what they call accelerated symbiotic evolution, where two species rapidly evolve in response to extreme environmental pressures, developing traits mutually beneficial for their survival. Dogs are evolving to become our conscious partners in navigating the planetary challenges we face, explains Dr. Lynn Margulis, evolutionary biologist. They're developing exactly the skills we need: intuition, healing, early problem detection, emotional support to get through this critical time in human history. The canine awakening is not an isolated phenomenon. It's part of a greater cosmic orchestration preparing both humans and animals for a new phase of planetary existence. Dogs have consciously chosen to take on the role of guides, healers, and protectors during this critical transition. This explains why so many pet owners report the feeling that their dogs chose them, came with a specific mission, or are much more than just household animals. Because they truly are. They're conscious collaborators in one of the greatest transformations Earth consciousness has ever experienced. Edgar Cayce's prophecy wasn't just about the future. It was a preparation manual for a reality that's already here. Right now, as you read these words, millions of dogs around the world are functioning as conscious bridges between dimensions, energy healers, and spiritual guardians of humanity. The question is no longer whether this will happen. The question is how you will prepare for this new reality. If you have a dog at home, you need to understand they may be much more than you thought.
Recent statistics show that 73% of domestic dogs exhibit at least one special ability that their owners initially attribute to coincidence. Learning to recognize and develop these abilities can completely transform your relationship and open portals of communication you never thought possible. The first step is to observe patterns in your dog's behavior that go beyond ordinary instinct. Does your dog appear next to you exactly when you're sad, even while in another room? Get restless before unexpected visitors? Show special interest in certain parts of your body that later turn out to be areas of tension or health issues? These aren't random behaviors. These are manifestations of spiritual abilities in development. Dr. Patricia Goodman,
An expert in animal communication, developed a simple protocol for identifying dogs with special abilities. Watch if your dog responds to your thoughts before you say them out loud. Try mentally calling them from another room. Monitor if they react to your emotions even when you try to hide them. These are clear indicators of active telepathic communication. To develop these abilities, establish daily moments of conscious connection with your dog. Sit in silence with them for 10 to 15 minutes. Make gentle eye contact and mentally send thoughts of gratitude and love. Many owners report that this simple practice dramatically enhances telepathic communication with their pets. For those who don't yet have a dog, be prepared to recognize when a special animal crosses your path. Dogs with specific spiritual missions often choose their human families through impressive synchronicities. They appear exactly when you need them most, demonstrate instant and undeniable connection, or arrive through circumstances that feel like fate. Entirely new professions are emerging to support this new reality. Animal communicators, human-canine connection facilitators, telepathic skill trainers, and therapists working with human-dog pairs are becoming increasingly in demand. Technology is also adapting. Apps that monitor energetic synchronization between humans and dogs, devices that measure electromagnetic fields in environments with special pets, and platforms that connect owners of dogs with similar abilities are revolutionizing our understanding of this evolutionary partnership. Your dog may be one of the hidden masters Cayce saw in his visions, and you may be one of the people chosen to be part of this transformation that's redefining what it means to be human on a planet where consciousness is evolving exponentially.